Was the Game Boy Advance your friend when you were a kid? All right, so for all you Game Boy Advance fans, I have a new color of the Anbernic 34XX, and it's Glacier, and it's pretty cool. I like this. The other thing that I'm going to be checking out is MuOS on here. I'm not going to be doing an installation video because it's pretty much the exact same as if you've ever followed any other MuOS tutorial. I have one for, I believe it's a 35XXSP. I hate the name convention. But anyway, let's check out the Glacier, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So this was sent to me by 2Retro, and thank you to 2Retro. I will leave all the links in the description below, but you can get a 10% off coupon from their website using my code RetroFunTech, and then that way you can get one of these awesome little guys. But this thing, this just hits all the nostalgia vibes. It's such a good little device. I know in the previous, I did a first impressions video, and I was talking about this and how I was having some grippage issues and just wanted to like kind of drill that home. But I've played with it a little bit more and tested it out quite a bit more, and I get it. I understand. So just know that it's pretty cool. It really is. If you had a Game Boy Advance, I mean, you really need, I feel like, I'm not going to say you need to because I don't want anybody to yell at me about their wallet spending, but you should definitely consider getting one of these because it's very cool. It's really nice to play all the 8-bit, 16-bit arcade games on here. You can even do Portmaster and Pico 8 on here with MuOS. So yeah, I like this a lot. And I really like this new color. This is pretty cool. I would love if Anbernic just makes all of the transparent rainbow on this, or all of the different colors, because this just, more devices need to be made kind of like this, where they are hitting the nostalgia vibes of a different handheld that we've had before. So this is really cool as far as, you know, the form factor. Again, the D-pad's a little bit smaller, and it does have 4 buttons instead of the 2 buttons, but I mean, more buttons are probably a good thing. But it's really cool. It just is. Now, as far as MuOS, if you've checked out any of my other videos before, I'm not a huge fan of Anbernic stock OS. They are getting better. I will give them that. They have come leaps and bounds where they were originally. The stock OS is actually, you can use it out of the box for sure. But I'm a fan of MuOS, so I definitely wanted to check it out for the 34XX. But yeah, if you are interested in custom firmware and maybe you have one of these, you're not a big fan of the stock OS, maybe you want to dip your feet into getting wet in the custom firmware world, MuOS I think is a pretty solid choice. The installation is very easy. All you have to do afterwards is plug it, you know, pop in the SD card after it's flashed, let it do its thing. It'll populate everything that's on here, and then you can eject it from the device and put it back in your computer, swap over all your ROMs, and then you're good. I mean, bing, bang, boom. It's pretty good. So I'll leave a link in the description of a tutorial that I've done for the SP, and you can follow along. It's pretty much the exact same thing. You just have to download for this, which is the 34XX. So you make sure that you follow that. So I wish they would have called this the 34 Advance or just the Anbernic Advance. I feel like they missed out on that, but maybe they were afraid of like a copyright issue thing going on there. But anyway, all right, let's jump into some game testing. For the most part, I've been sticking to Game Boy Advance games on here, and honestly, it just feels right. The form factor, the button layout, everything about the Anbernic 34XX makes it feel like a GBA. was reborn in a modern shell, 'cause it kind of was. One thing I really appreciate about MuOS is the built-in fast-forward function. If you're playing an RPG or something like Pokemon and want to speed through the dialogue or those long grinding sessions, just tap R2 and you can zip right through it. It's a small feature, but trust me, once you start using it, you just won't want to go back. Now, one thing to keep in mind with GBA games, since the original hardware only has A and B buttons, the X and Y buttons on the 34XX don't do anything by default. Some emulators let you remap them, but for an authentic GBA experience, you probably won't need them anyway. As for the screen, it's 3.4 inches, hence the name 34XX. And it has a resolution of 720 by 480 with an aspect ratio of 3:2. That's perfect for GBA. But when you start playing other systems, things might look a little stretched or letterboxed. Thankfully, MuOS gives you scaling options, so you can tweak things to your liking. Now, let's talk about performance. This thing handles everything up to, the 16-bit era flawlessly. NES, SNES, Genesis, no problems at all. PlayStation 1 is pretty solid too, though you might get a game here or there that might need some tweaking in the settings. But when you start pushing into Dreamcast, PSP, and N64, that's where things get a little rough. This device only has 1 gig of RAM, and without thumbsticks, N64 support is already super limited. If you manage to get something from those higher-end systems running smoothly, consider it a bonus, not a guarantee. That said, there are a few tricks to get better performance out of PSP and Dreamcast. For PSP, dropping the resolution down to 1x can make a huge difference. Enabling frame skipping can help smooth things out. For Dreamcast, certain later games like Crazy Taxi or Marvel vs. Capcom 2 might run okay with the right tweaks. But again, don't expect perfect performance. Another quick tip, if you ever feel like the screen is too bright or too dim, MuOS actually lets you adjust the brightness levels manually. Some people don't realize this at first, but holding the function button or the menu button at the top and toggling the volume wheel lets you change it without going into the settings. Super handy for late night gaming. Overall, the Anbernic 34XX is a solid little handheld, especially if you're mainly interested in 8-bit, 16-bit, and GBA games. It's not the most powerful thing out there, but for the price, it delivers a great retro experience in a compact, nostalgic package. There's a ton of retro handhelds out there, so they're coming out with more and more all the time. I love seeing it. I love the options that we have. I want more of this kind of thing where it would hit the nostalgia, with the 35XX SP, terrible name, but the SP, the Pretend Advance, we'll just call it the Pretend Advance. But yeah, I really think that they nailed it on this. It's a really good device. As always, those are my thoughts, not yours. Leave any comments in the description below. Let me know if you are picking one of these up. If you have one, what color do you have? And what do you love playing on there? If it's a specific game, specific system, probably Game Boy Advance. But if there's something else, that's cool too. So definitely, if you're thinking about getting one of these, definitely hit the link in the description below. Thank you again to 2Retro for sending me out this review unit. And don't forget to use my coupon code if you do get one from them. So, as always, thanks for watching. Stay awesome, everyone, and go play some games.
That's a really nice looking Game Boy Advance you have there.
Oh, you like the color?
Do you think I could play it? I really enjoyed the GBA.
Okay. Sure, I'll let you play it.
I used to play it on my downtime on Hoth. Maybe I shouldn't play Advance Wars, though. That brings back some bad memories.
I mean, I don't want you to play it if it's gonna give you some PTSD vibes from Hoth, so...
It was just very cold, and then the training exercise took a turn.
Are you sure you don't want to call your therapist, Steve?
We weren't allowed to have therapists in Hoth. They thought brisk walks around the barracks would be just as effective. Oh, I love Kirby. He makes me smile. Yeah, could I borrow this?
Sure. If you want to keep that one, you can. For a while. Take as long as you need, Steve.
Thanks. I think I will stick to happy games right now. Sorry, I got a little dark there. Don't touch my helmet.
No? Okay. I won't pet you. You want a hug? Hug?
Stormtroopers don't need hugs.
That's fine. We're not there yet. Okay. I thought we were friends.
Oh, fine, sure, we're friends. Why do you have to get all emotional on me? Back to gaming. Retro games forever.